All right, welcome to Mr. McLean's Monday motivational message. And today you can see we're going to be talking about perspective. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to talk to a young lady who was on a varsity volleyball team for Michigan at one of the Michigan high schools. Her team had a great season. They won regionals and had the opportunity to play in the state semifinal game, and they lost, and it was disappointing. But she said something about that game that really stuck with me, and I just want to share that with you today. You can imagine the locker room after that game. You've had a really long season. I'm sure your adrenaline has been high with all the wins and the expectations and the anticipation of making it to the state finals. And here you are in the semifinal game, and you lose. And so you're in that locker room, and I would have to imagine there are tears being cried. I mean, it's the end of your season. You've lost. You're not going to make it to the final game, so there's discouragement and frustration, and everybody's just not feeling really well. But this young lady said, "I refused to let one game define my season." I thought that was really impactful. I'm not going to let this one game, even though it was the game before the state championship, I'm not going to let this one game define my season. And I think that is something that is so valuable for us in life, to not allow one moment to define us. Because oftentimes in life we do experience disappointment. We do experience discouragement. We are like these girls in the locker room. We feel like our whole world has just caved in. Sometimes we have these moments and we start calling ourselves, well, I'm just a failure. I'm just a nobody. I'm no good. I'm not beautiful. I'm not strong. And we start taking these moments in our lives, and we take the moment to define our entire life rather than gaining perspective on the whole season, all of our life. This picture looks like a pile of junk, and sometimes our life just feels like a pile of junk, and we're feeling really crappy about things and don't feel anything's going to go our way, and it's just like, well, life is just a bunch of junk. But with the right perspective, life can look like a piece of art. Well, this pile of junk looks like a pile of junk from 359 different degrees, but from the right perspective, this pile of junk is a piece of art. And the same thing's true with our lives. Again, we may be living in a moment of frustration. We may be living in a moment of discouragement. We may be living in a moment where our world has crashed all around us. But if we pick the right angle to view our lives at, we'll see more than just this moment. We'll see a series of moments where there's joy, there's happiness, there's success, there's achievement. And all of those things truly do characterize our lives and create a piece of art, not that one moment. So if you're experiencing failure, if you're struggling with disappointment, if you're having a tough time with a relationship, don't let your emotions in that moment define you. Get perspective, take a long look at life, and say, my life is more than just this moment. If you do take perspective and you would say, Mr. McLean, my life is junk. My life is, the whole perspective, no matter what angle you view it at, is junk. Let me tell you this. Today's the day to get up and start moving ahead. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to stay that way. Today can be the day where you decide enough is enough. I'm not going to live in disappointment. I'm not going to live the lie that I'm a nobody, and from this day forward, I'm going to move forward with my life, and that's something that you can do as well. So, perspective, just like that young lady would not allow a single game, a defeat, to define her season, we shouldn't let moments in life define our lives. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And if you do, please hit like, please share, please subscribe to this channel and pass it on. I trust that this was helpful for you today, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you.